What up? We're back. Favorite segment time. Shoot your shot. Somebody's trying to get a win here. That's me. I am still winless.
Who's that?
Yeah, that's me. It might happen today. It probably won't, but we're gonna have fun anyway. We're gonna have fun. So yeah, our first matchup is House Lasky versus Lancashire Lambert. This will be headed by Mr. Wildsmith, won by Wildy. So I'm going to read out the question. Wildy, make sure you got the timer ready, and then you can start it after I finish. So earlier this week, Jayden Brown scored the most points, 33 points, in under 20 minutes played during the shot clock era, which is 1954 and 55. Now, question I have to you both is, who is the best microwave player in the league? And what I mean by this, can heat up real quick, 0 to 100 real quick.
You pick who goes first. When I put my hand up, that means the time has started. And then I'm going to put my hand up again when you've got 10 seconds left so that you can gauge it. And then when my hand goes down, you shut up.
Heard.
All right.
Quite directive.
Okay, authoritative. Okay, right. Going first is Lancashire Lambert. Go.
Cool. So I am going to go for the reigning 6th man of the year, and that is Montrezl Harrell, one of Ed's teams, the LA Clippers. This is a man who is currently averaging 14 points per game, or not his highest, really, considering he got 19 points per game average last season and 17 in his previous two. But he is shooting 63% from field goal. Pretty good. He's hot. In the playoffs, he turns up as well. He averaged 10 points per game last season, but in the previous playoff season, 18.3. And he's shooting at 57% in the playoffs as well. So who better do you want to be shooting the lights out when it's really needed? Montrezl Harrell.
You had 10 more seconds if you want it.
Nah, I'll leave it. I'm going to put the pressure on Ed.
Ooh, fighting words.
So are you ready for part two?
I just wanted to use that extra 10 seconds to sit in that shade. All right, let's go.
All right. Ed, you're up.
So when we talk about microwave, we're talking about high power, minimal effort. And is there a better person? You may have forgotten him because he's on the injury reserve list, Mr. Klay Thompson. Now, Mr. 37 points, 13 from 13 in the field from the 3 in the third quarter. When he touched the ball for only 90 seconds, high power, minimal effort. He's also got the 60-point game where in 20 he scored 60 points in 29 minutes. That's 2.07 points a minute. And remember that guy Wilt who got 100 points? He only got 2.07. So that's what Mr. Klay Thompson does. High power, minimal effort. He's the best microwave in the NBA.
He's a broken microwave at the moment right now.
He can still heat up better than Montrezl Harrell. And also he plays for the Lakers, not the Clippers anymore. All right.
Not for a hospital bed. Trust the Magic fan to come up with a player that's injured.
All right, well, it's your call, man. I love it. A broken microwave.
Interesting. So it's going to Matt. Matt wins this for sure. Because Montrez he's live. As he quietly said, he's working a microwave at the moment. The only stat that was a bad thing for Montrez is that he's, at 14 when he's, averaged 17 previous. But that when you're playing with LeBron and AD, then, your attempts are going to go down and so your numbers naturally. But he's obviously doing bits. One of the things I would say about him in the playoffs is that he was practically unplayable against Denver for some reason. Just the analytics did not support. He couldn't defend at all. But in terms of offense, that's what we refer to when we talk about a microwave. Things with Klay, we kind of, if there was a Hall of Fame microwaves, he'd be in there. But he had a really bad injury. We thought he was coming back, and then he got another really bad one. So I'm worried if we're ever actually going to see Klay again in his true form.
Can I call a coach's challenge?
No, because to be honest, I've been robbed of wins on this, and it's down to the person. So
you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
you think that's the robbery? Do you?
This is what happens when you're on top. He feels like he's entitled to stuff.
Oh, here we go.
You're not getting those franchise player calls, sir. Hell no.
He's like this.
Yeah.
George, should we move on to the second question?
Yeah, let's go for it. So, second question. Which current NBA player has or had the best signature shoe? So this question is going to be for Alex DiCaprio, as I'm calling him, seeing as he's been robbed. He says.
Wait, when's it going?
Salt Bray. Okay. So I'm going to give it to Bray to start. You will go again with 10 seconds. I'll put my hand up so you know. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my man, Michael. He's not playing at the moment, but obviously most of his shoes are there. If we have to go current players, I'm going with LeBron, and I'm going with the LeBron 8. And there's a key reason for this. Clothes, shoes, fashion, you obviously want to look fly, but it's even better when you make a statement. So LeBron 8 were released in October of 2010. What else happened in 2010? The decision. He took his talents to South Beach, and this is what these shoes were called. The South Beach. They were in the Miami Vice colorways, which we all know is the flyest in the NBA. He had the hot pink laces. It's all about looking fly on the beach. It was the statement to follow up the decision, and that is why I'm choosing the LeBron 8. I'm going to post a pic for y'all in our group chat so you can see those beautiful kicks.
Ooh, just in time. Ooh, okay. Tough. You feeling pressure?
Pressure is a privilege.
Okay. Alex, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to go one better, and I'm just going to show you the shoe straight up. I'm going with the Kyrie 1s. The reason, first off, the design of the shoe is fire. It looks like it's got crocodile teeth on the baseline of the shoe, but apparently it's designed after the Sydney Opera House, which is one of my favorite buildings. Who doesn't like that building? That's pretty good. It's also, the Kyries is apparently the fastest selling series out of any active player. So that was the first shoe, and it set the tone. He's gone on to make 7 more. It's also about what the player does in the shoe. So this shoe was released in December 2014. He was an all-star that year. He made all-NBA third team, averaged 22, 3 rebounds and 5 assists. But most importantly, Cleveland made the finals because it was the first year that LeBron basically came back to the finals. And Kyrie, unfortunately, actually got injured, and they ended up losing in 6. But that's why I think it's an impact, and I think it's had a lasting legacy.
Nice. Time. Oh, okay. I like that. I'm feeling pressure because it's kind of like a LeBron against Kyrie debate. So I feel like I'm going to get flack after this.
For Alex's sake, separate yourself from that.
Oh my God.
So I do like that LeBron part from you, Bray. It does show like the legacy and the changes in that. I do like that. Alex, you're giving out the points with the influences and all the sales and the numbers. Again, very good points. Tough decision, but I think I'm going to have to give DiCaprio his first Oscar with this one. With the Kyries, mainly it has to come down to like the popularity of them. You remember when they first came out, like everyone had them. They were on everyone's feet everywhere. So yeah,
They were on my
enjoy the
shortlist.
Oscar, brother.
I'm not even mad because those were on my shortlist. Like that fire shoe.
Everyone wanted those.
I was
play
so
really
mad.
well.
I was so mad when they sold out on the UK Nike store. I had to order them from fucking Sweden.
You know what? When he releases, I think it was his second one, the Dunkin' Donuts colorway. Does everyone remember that? Oh, bro, I love
I haven't
those.
seen it.
Very good.
Mate.
Yeah,
They
he's
are-
got some mad colorways. Like he did one with Patrick
Honestly.
and SpongeBob as
Yeah,
well.
SpongeBob with the
Nuts.
pineapple.
Well,
Yeah.
Lillard for the same. He's just released obviously the OKC colorways, but there's a Ric Flair colorway of the same shoe.
Oh, man.
Like it's like these guys
Woo!
go to everyone.
Bray,
With
I
with the
so oh gone.
I was gonna say with the Kyrie ones, the Uncle Drew colorway is fucking unreal.
Yeah, it's fire.
So nice.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Bray, I was worried you were going to go with this shoe because this is also my option, and the reason I can use it is because this player is still in the league. I was going to go with these,
The
the
D
crazy lights, the D Rose, the
D-Rose.
one that he had in his MVP season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, it's basically how the furthest he got. Like he got to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you guys got knocked out by the Heat. But I love those shoes.
Yeah,
They're so fire.
Like
I have to say the worst shoe line for me will probably be the Crazy Light series, not the D Rose. Remember when they had like the speed boost and you were just running on sharp plastic? Like,
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
that's what I was gonna say. Have you ever played in Crazy Lights? Like, you
Yeah.
might as well be in cardboard shoes. Like, it's
Literally,
awful.
I wanted to chop off my feet afterwards just so I didn't have to feel pain. Like,
Yeah, it's a tough. Yeah,
awful.
it's a tough
So-
go.
I will say though, in my research for this, literally, like it's all. If you go like top shoes, it's just like all Jordans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's like the pennies in there as well. Like apparently like pennies are the ones to have. I didn't even know this. And like occasionally you'll see some LeBron shoes in there, some Kyrie shoes in there, but like
Some Iversons.
and yeah, and then the odd Kobe one as well, the odd Mamba.
I got a pair of pennies. They're nice. They're very platformy. Like you feel like your footwork goes up a few points when you put them on.
So that wraps up Shoot Your Shot. Wins. I finally got a win, guys. So George, whatever you need, man. If you need me to add a couple of wins in the leaderboard, I can do that for you. That's cool, man. I appreciate it. I've got one.
I want to see you create a DiCaprio meme for yourself now. You asking your mother.
The Gatsby. Yeah, and
Yeah.
or the Django. The and Lancashire Lambert again, not taking any L's, man. You're on a roll recently.
That door. That's all I'm
That
gonna
door.
say.
So this next segment is sort of a one-off special. Yesterday, 1 year ago yesterday, Kobe Bryant, Gianna, and 7 others tragically passed away in a tragic helicopter accident. We've obviously still grieving from it now, all as basketball fans and just general individuals, and we all truly miss them. But we want to talk about something on the positive side, and we want to talk about our favorite Kobe memories. So each one of us are going to speak through that and talk how he's impacted us just in general everyday today life. So I think we're going to start off with House Dusky.
So the one cool thing for me personally is my birthday actually falls on Mamba Day. So my birthday is 24th of August. So 248 is my birthday. So I always find that pretty cool. So that's always got a bit of a special place in my heart. But I want to talk about my first memory. So obviously I was always into football growing up, and I always remember that there was always this one basketball player who was into football as well. And obviously Kobe's got his background in Italy and his love for AC Milan. I remember seeing him in videos with Ronaldinho, so I always had that in my mind about Kobe Bryant. When I started getting into the NBA, I remember there was a specific video on the NBA's YouTube channel, and it was talking about Kobe's leadership. It was like a 2-minute long video and his intensity, and it was just a simple pick and roll play of him and Pau Gasol. And I just remember just watching that video, like a very short 2-minute video, and just seeing that his intensity in the game and just the relationship he had with Powell. And even after they won the game, just Kobe's maturity and being like, listen, the way we did that was just so perfect, just focusing on the moment and not getting too ahead of himself. I just love watching that. I think that was my first memory of Kobe. I think when I became a proper fan, it was more to the end of his career. So I didn't necessarily see the proper Kobe Bryant like other people did. But that was my first memory of Kobe. And that's the one that initially stuck out to me.
Ed, I'd also tell you why that sticks out to you, because that clip was in the finals against the Orlando Magic.
But I wasn't a Magic fan then. I wasn't a Magic fan back then. But yeah,
But it was
that-
it was an and one play to the
Yes.
rim. Yeah. Left
Because he's
hand.
talking about how if they stay
Yeah.
parallel,
In line, yeah.
they don't know how to, yeah, he's mad. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's a good clip.
Nice. Let's move on to the man who's repping the jersey.
Yeah, man.
Talk to me, Jay Ward. What's your
dude,
favourite
so-
Kobe memory?
Mine's a little bit like unorthodox, and I bear with me. Like, I'm not going to go too long, but I kind of have like a two-part thing. But the main one, the first thing, is like the thing with sports is that it's all about like bringing people together and like either rooting for or against something. And like, I had a science teacher called Mr. Maburu, who was like the guy who would run the basketball club at my boarding school after school. He was an absolute legend, and like he loved the fact that I was into basketball, and I would drop by his science lab sometimes and just see how he was doing, and he'd be like, "Oh my God, you see what Kobe did last night?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" And so me and him would be bonding over Kobe highlights, and one memory sticks in is when he's dribbling to the middle of the free throw, and he up fakes, and as soon as his guy goes up, he just pivots through and puts it off the back and dunks it. Like, I just have such a vivid memory of me, and I hate science, but me and this science teacher who played basketball together when I was like from 9 years old to 16, us just losing our minds over Kobe highlights like the day later because we were in a different time zone, man. So then the other one was just like when I first got into NBA, like watching it, following it, because we got the package to get it in 2010. The Kobe run through that. I know he'd already won one against Orlando, but they lost to Celtics in 09. In 08. And then they had that amazing round one against OKC, the young, like Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and those guys were like battling Kobe at it. But I mean, they won 4-2, but that was the series, the first NBA series I watched live, and like some of the highlights in that series are unbelievable. So good to watch. And then my first finals that I ever watched live, going to 7 games, was just unbelievable. And in fact, Kobe came out on top of that. It's just great, and so much impact on the game, and just how he was so hated as a player while he was in, like, he was the bad guy. That was like his persona. And as soon as the competition was removed, he then evolved into this basketball guru and monument. It was just an awesome thing. And we didn't get enough time of that second phase of his basketball life.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like the impact he has, like I think when somebody talks about somebody who's gone, they're like always wishing how they still be here, but I'm always have in the back of my mind, be thankful that they have been there rather than they're gone. I'm thankful for stuff like that. Jord, what memories have you got from Kobe?
So I would say like Kobe has just been amazing. Like, I remember when I first got into basketball and started going clubs regularly like that. I was round 8, and back then the only players which I could name off by heart were 3, which was Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. that was my list right there. But I remember because back then it was just so hard to just get access to the NBA in comparison today. But I remember when I got the chance, just going back and just seeing all the Kobe highlights, kind of you wild again, and just losing it with your friends and your coaches and that, insane. In terms of Kobe moments, like I said, there's just so many. And honorable mentions, the list can go on and on for me. Like, I would say one of the biggest honorable mentions was that moment, even though it was kind of disproved later on, but the Matt Barnes, the pass fake, that massive one,
man.
and everyone's just like, Kobe's just built different, like the no flinch. That was one of my honorable mentions. But I think the biggest one for me was during the end part of his career, and I think it was the Oscar video, that farewell, that goodbye, dear basketball.
Yeah, dear basketball, yeah.
Yeah, that watching that video, it just hits different, and that whole farewell tour was just so emotional, and it was just nice to see that perspective, like from his view. It's kind of you kind of imagine yourself in that situation, which is so special. And it's weird looking back, because you can obviously see the impact he's had, because for a lot of people in the world, they never got a chance to meet him. They may not even got a chance to like see him play live or anything like that. But to have such that emotional connection to that big loss just shows his impact and what a legend he was on and off the court.
Matt, you're obviously a newcomer to the sport. You started watching it much more recently. What Kobe memories do you have?
The one that sticks out for me probably is his last game, because that was probably the first season where I started to pay true attention to basketball and recognise it. And that last game, I think, kind of illustrates his greatness perfectly, in the fact that all these people turned out to watch it. Like, the list of celebs who attended that game are endless, and his performance as well kind of just shows his graft, even in a season where he's like, 37 years of age and not scoring as much as he used to go out and score 60 points in his last game. And those free throws he's taking at the end to take him to 60 points, I know it's probably a bit disputed whether it's true or not, but this whole Gordon Hayward thing where he steps his foot over the line to make it a foul if Kobe misses the shot for the 60th point, I think stuff like that, whether it's true or not, kind of illustrates nicely the respect that his fellow pros had for him. And that's what sticks out to me, because it shows the respect he had from his pros and the respect he had across the wider NBA community and the fans, and just how to play the game and how to dedicate and focus your life to a sport like he did.
Yeah, that comeback was insane, because it's one thing scoring 60 points in a game, but to actually win that game as well, incredible. Mr. Bray, what Kobe story have you got for us?
I've got a few different things. So I recently got a new job, and I'm frantically trying to find it in my emails now. I've actually lost it. I got sent like their kind of like, here are the values we have at our company, and one of the values, like, they have a different person for each one. One of them's Kobe, and it's just come to me, and I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, it was the thing I loved, and I mentioned it when I spoke to them, and I was like, I'm obviously a massive basketball fan. I was like, that just, and like the kind of hard work aspect of it just embodies it so well. And I was talking to the guys earlier. I also recently watched the Tony Parker documentary, and Kobe does make a feature. So if for no other reason, watch it for that, because he obviously, like, we talked about the things that we're missing, like the insight that he's giving, obviously now retired, talking about players who he's played against, and he's just so funny on camera. I think the last thing I want to round it up with is something that I always remember, is the Black Mamba commercial he did, where it's like
with Kanye.
Yeah, so the one with Robert Rodriguez, where it's like a film.
Oh yeah,
he walks into Robert Rodriguez's office, and he's like, "So I want to make a film about Black Mamba," and they're talking through it like how it's going to go, and then it keeps cutting to these scenes that they've made. And it's like, oh, we're going to get someone great, like Mickey Rourke or someone we can get, and it's like Danny Trejo or something. And
Yeah, it's like it's not Mickey Rourke, it's somebody else. Like
yeah, it's Danny Trejo, and then
So
they
good.
managed to get Bruce Willis for the next bit, and the last one it's like and Kanye West is like the boss, and it's like someone like him, and he's like, no, Kanye West, and it's like it's so funny because Kobe's just like he's not even acting, he's just being himself, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And I rewatched it again today because I love that so much. Like I was just cracking up over it. And the last line that he says is heroes come and go, but legends are forever. And I was like, fuck, like that hit me. I was, because I've been thinking about it a little bit, but that hit me when he said that last line. I was like, how fitting. So that's, yeah. Rest in peace, man.
I'm gonna wrap it up and sort of tail off that. The advert where he's doing like the Mamba Excellence School with all of those celebrities, and he's sort of like just giving a speech, and Kanye like asks a question, and he's like, how can I get better if I'm already at the best? And he's like, he doesn't say anything, he just goes, you're welcome. And then Kanye's like, what does that mean? And everyone just starts applauding. I was like,
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
So good. His humor as well. One of my favorite moments is the Kobe Bryant and Jalen Rose commercial, which didn't actually get to air. When he talks about like dropping, and he's sort of in a restaurant.
It's a TV series. It's not a commercial. Okay. Everyone thinks it's a commercial, but it was a sitcom Jalen was trying to do.
He should have pursued it because this is amazing. And he's at a restaurant, and I think he just calls out his name, and Jalen, as soon as he hears it, he knows who it is, and he's like, Kobe, how's everything? And then they get into a conversation, and he orders 81 olives. But yeah, so
there's a similar one.
Another
one of that.
Mr. Bryant, 81.
It's
I found this out. Go on, Waldy.
It's like, seriously? No, man, I'm just playing. Just two. He gets it. What if it goes back to Jalen's face as soon as he breaks the stare. Kobe starts clapping after he's like a joke for him. It's so good, man.
There's one with him and Derrick Rose as well. I think they're doing promo for 2K. And they were talking about their players, and there was, I think they were like going back and forth. And last thing he said, well, my guy's got 5 rings. And Derrick was like, yeah, I've got nothing to say to that. Like, your guys are just better.
So my one annoyance with Kobe is when realizing that he's Philadelphia born and bred, and the annoyance of like, we've got AI, he's my hero, but for him to play in like Philly and City and see what he's done with the Lakers, I'm always like, what if? One of my favorite memories was when Iverson came back, second stint with the Sixers. He obviously wasn't the player that he was, but there was a part in that game in the third quarter where AI and Kobe were going back and forth. AI, eventually he calls off and Kobe just takes the game over. And this obviously dates back to, I don't know if you guys have heard it, but when they were playing in the finals against each other, Kobe Bryant saw Allen Iverson drop 35 on him. He flipped the table and he did like research. He did like every interview he's done, every article. He went into like some extensive, like learning all of his moves. And just the dedication that really like nobody is like him. You know, if there is somebody like him, it would be Jordan, but just the detail that he actually does and the research into the lengths is something that I don't know if we will ever see. Maybe we will 10, 20 years down the line, but that's something that I've always respected. And the last memory is just something which I love is he's on the Mavs bench. He's out injured. You guys have probably seen this GIF. And the Mavs fans just chatting to him. I remember watching this game live and it's just gone on Kobe. And he looks at the guy and he goes,
Yeah.
Just saying, I got 5 rings, so you just need to shut up. And that's just Kobe in a nutshell for me, man. Just savage, but like he can back it up. Yeah.
100%.
Do you guys remember when he was on Jimmy Kimmel and he showed him the clip
Yes,
of
I
the
was waiting
Lakers
for someone-
bench?
Yeah. I
Oh,
was waiting for
amazing.
someone to bring this up. The Lakers have been on like a stupid losing streak, like something like 12 games, and then they beat the Knicks in the Garden, and there's just a video of Swaggy P and
Jeremy Lin,
Lin.
Jordan Hill.
Yeah, and they're all like, "It's us, we in the building. What you gotta say?" And then, oh my god, and like you anticipate what Kobe's reaction is gonna be, and it comes off, and you take it.
For those who haven't seen it, so Kobe Bryant's out with an elbow injury or shoulder injury, whatever. He's on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel's like, Kobe, I really want you to watch this video and get your reaction. So he plays the video of the Lakers bench getting excited because they beat the Knicks after being on, as Wildy was saying, a 12-game losing streak. And then it zooms out and it pans at Kobe, and the whole crowd is laughing at this video because it's really funny, but Kobe's there just like still face, just like, just not taking any shit that they fucking won an easy game, and he's like, nah, I ain't having this. And Jimmy Kimmel was there just dying laughing because like, yeah, that's what you expect in LA. Like, what the fuck is this? But another one just to highlight the Mamba mentality, as you were saying, Wildy.
Fuck yeah, man.
I guess the only thing to finish on is what's there to be happy about. Job's not finished. Job done. So yeah, that's yeah, man. That were so many great memories, and I'm sure that there's going to be more stuff to come. I'm hoping for a documentary on his final series, and just finding out more stories that surface from Kobe. So rest in peace to him and Gianna and the others that obviously tragically died. That wraps up the 6th man for this week. So I want to give a shout out to all my GMs for keep plugging away. We're almost 25% of the way through the season, so we've still got a big chunk to go, but I'm excited. The leaderboard is heating up very nicely. We will be back next week with the Atlantic and the Pacific divisions for the 3rd time. We'll be speaking about them. But from your 6th man and my other GMs, it is over and out.
Peace.
Ciao.
Yeah.